We are also joined by our statewide elected officials, New York State Comptroller Tom DiNapoli and New York State Attorney General Letitia James. And a few of our former statewide elected officials, the 55th governor of the great state of New York, David Patterson, and former Lieutenant Governor Bob Duffy. We are proud to be joined by many members of the judicial community, especially the judges of the New York State Court of Appeals, including Chief Judge Rowan Wilson and Judges Michael Garcia, Madeline Singas, Shirley Troutman, Anthony Canataro, and Caitlin Halligan. Please give a round of applause for Secretary to the Governor, Karen Persicelli-Keogh. Counsel to the Governor, Brian Mahana, as well as the Governor's entire senior staff team. We also welcome the many local elected leaders who have joined us, including county executives from across New York State, all mayors in attendance, especially our newly elected officials, Mayor of Albany, Dorsey Apliers, Mayor of Syracuse, Sharon Owens, Mayor of Buffalo, Sean Ryan, and Mayor of New York City, Zoran Mamdani. Leadership from county legislatures as well as city and town councils, borough presidents and town supervisors, district attorneys, sheriffs, and all members of law enforcement. Representatives and leadership from our First Nations territories. All faith leaders in attendance today, especially representatives of the Governor's Interfaith Council, led by Reverend A.R. Bernard. Members of the Governor's Cabinet who have joined us today. And we'd like to acknowledge the many labor leaders who are here representing their members. Please give a round of applause for our labor community. As we close out today's acknowledgments, we want to thank each and every one of you for joining us. From nonprofit leaders to business executives and community advocates to public servants, your advocacy and support makes our state the best it can be, and we are truly honored to have you with us today. Please give one more round of applause for yourselves and all of our distinguished guests. Distinguished guests, please find your seats and silence your cell phones. The program will begin shortly. Yes, even your phone speaker, Hasty. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the pride of the Orange, the Syracuse University Marching Band. Please welcome to the stage Rabbi Deborah Bravo, Reverend Kia Clyburn, and Imam Mansour Rafiq Umar to deliver today's invocation.
Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei imotenu v'avotenu, our God of our mothers and of our fathers, grant guidance to our governor, Kathy Hochul, and to the great leaders of the magnificent state of New York. In these difficult times, O God, guide them to continue to walk the path of justice, compassion, and grace. As leaders of different faiths and members of the Interfaith Council, we stand here together as colleagues and friends, bringing blessings from our different backgrounds in acknowledgement of all citizens and residents of this great state. During these economically challenging moments, give our leaders vision to continue to support the child, the worker, the downtrodden. During these days where violence and crimes are surfacing, where hatred of all kinds is prevalent and abound, from anti-Semitism to Islamophobia to hatred of the immigrant and the drifter. Oh God, give our leaders the strength to continue to fight against inhumanity on a path towards safety and security for all. In these moments where mental health is unstable for the youth and the elderly alike, give them continued courage to remain on a path of support, assistance, and love. During these times when simple living can be difficult, give our leaders continued vision to find homes for all, transportation for those who need, and a world that is environmentally sound. Oh God, we live in times of challenge and doubt, so we beg of you, instill in these leaders ongoing courage to fight the misinformation and the misguided, to always be on a path of tikkun olam, of repairing this world, this country, this state, to be a beacon of light and of life for all peoples. May this great state, under this directed, determined, compassionate, and wise leadership, always be a home for the orphan and the homeless, the immigrant and the wanderer, for the black, brown, yellow, white, red, and blue, for the Christian, Muslim, and Jew, the Hindu, Buddhist, Sikh, and Baha'i, the pagan, Native American, atheist, and agnostic, for those who are economically challenged and for those whose needs are not economical at all. From the city streets of the boroughs to the neighborhoods of the suburbs, from the upstate farms to the banks of the Niagara, may no inch be unwatched, no soul be omitted, no idea be too small. May our leaders be driven by ethical principles of honesty, compassion, and fairness, as all leaders should be, but are not. As Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg said, fight for the things that you care about, but do it in a way that will lead others to join you. Let this be the path for all of New York and for our great leaders. And let us all say, Amen.
If you can bow your heads with me, as the word declares, now my eyes are open and my ears attentive to the prayers that are offered in this place. To the one who was, who is, and who is to come, the architect of justice, the author of peace, and the sustainer of truth, we pause in this sacred moment, not out of routine, but out of reverence and relationship. Not merely to mark a tradition, but summons the strength, clarity, and courage needed for fueling a promising future. Our state, the Empire State, New York, is more than just a place to visit on a map. We are the blueprint of justice, so we need you, O Lord, to set and to rest and to rule and to abide in and through this place. You're welcome from Harlem, Hamlin, to Hampton and to the Hamptons, from Westchester County to and throughout Western New York. Dwell in all corners of our state. We earnestly pray for every legislator, policymaker, public servant leader, and beyond. We lift before you our governor, the Honorable Kathy Hochul. Crown her with courage, clothe her with clarity, and gird her with grace for the road ahead. Let this year, O Lord, be the year where the least are lifted, the lost are found, and the voiceless are heard. We travail for every single parent working 2 jobs, for every educator shaping minds with limited resources, for our elders praying for safety and peace, and for the youth dreaming for opportunities for a sustainable future. Please show grace to those suffering homelessness, helplessness, addiction, abuse, and mental illness. Let our state continue to be the model of hope, harmony, and healing for the nation and for the world. Now we stretch forth our faith beyond state lines, and we truly intercede for this nation. Deliver our land from division, where we can all proudly proclaim the promise of one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And we seal this prayer in faith and determination for bigger, better, greater, increase, overflow, nothing missing, nothing broken, no lack, no losses, and no liabilities. In the name that is above every name we pray. Let us all say amen. Amen.
Respected leaders from around the state, in the name of God Almighty, I greet you with the Islamic greetings of peace. Assalam. On behalf of all of us, I want to thank our wonderful Governor Kathy Hochul for inviting us here today to send our blessings upon the administration and our state. The state of this great state of New York, and by the way, the best of our union, and I'm not shy to say it, is of paramount importance to us all. To those in attendance here and to our faith communities watching live in their homes. It offers us an opportunity to bestow blessings upon our leader, for the guidance of our leadership benefits the entirety of those under her care. It also offers us the chance to know of the outlook and trajectory of our state for the rest of 2026. As optimistic an outlook we may have, in order to know where we are going, we must know where we currently stand. This requires a balanced ear. Balancing the yays with the nays while remaining steadfast is a fine art. We are blessed with an administration that has this canny ability to decipher the nuances between a grievant and an intentional noisemaker, and with the ability to march forward undeterred in its desire to always improve the condition of its people. These are the tenets that gel our society and keep this state of New York together. This is only possible when we humble ourselves and recognize where we are. Leaders are not voted in nor elected to dominate the power of the pulpit, nor to become a politicized puppet of the podium. Rather, politics is listed under public service. Knowing that leadership means servitude is the recipe for true success. This is captured in our prophetic tradition, which states, Sayyidul Qawwami Khadimuhum, which means the leader of a people is their servant. As the Imam of the Muslim community of Bethlehem and the president of Halal Watch, I must hold myself accountable first and must humble myself to these guiding principles. This important concept is the necessary ingredient for a flavorful result for all of us. On behalf of the Muslim community of the state of New York, we pray that our governor and the rest of our leadership continue to reflect the trust placed in them by their constituents. May this administration be guided by wisdom, fortified with determination, and a bastion of love for all of its diverse peoples. Ameen.
Now please rise for the posting of the state and national colors by members of the New York State Police Color Guard. Please remain standing. waiting for the Pledge of Allegiance, performed by a group of local children from Girls, Inc. of the Greater Capital Region.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please welcome to the stage FDNY firefighter Regina Wilson to perform the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Please be seated as the Guard retires the colors.
Our family,
our businesses,
our communities,
our future is her fight. I'm Fran Fresher, and I'm a New Yorker.
I'm a New Yorker.
I'm a New Yorker.
We are New Yorkers.
2025 was a tough year.
Washington made things harder.
Costs went up.
Uncertainty went up.
And families were left paying the price.
It was a tough year.
New Yorkers were tougher.
While Washington played games, our governor got to work.
She built more housing, schools, businesses,
good-paying union jobs,
and a better Empire State for all who call it home.
When families were stretched thin, she cut middle-class taxes.
When costs were crushing parents, she invested billions in childcare
and tripled the child tax credit.
When classrooms were overwhelmed and distractions were everywhere,
we led the nation in banning smartphones in our classrooms, creating a distraction-free environment where our kids can thrive.
When communities were worried about safety, she invested in law enforcement and drove shootings down.
When illegal guns flooded our neighborhoods, Governor Hochul took them off the street.
Delivered free school meals for every student.
Adults can go back to school tuition-free.
Farmers and small businesses got support to keep going.
And while Washington stalled,
New York kept building housing, transit, and jobs.
In central New York, Governor Hochul secured the largest private investment in American history.
Pregnant workers get paid prenatal leave.
The minimum wage is tied to inflation.
Is everything fixed?
No.
The work isn't done.
But when things get hard, we don't point fingers and we don't back down.
New York steps up and leads.
On affordability,
mental health,
on public safety.
That's what New Yorkers expect.
And that's the leadership we've had.
From a mom from Buffalo.
From a mom from Buffalo.
From a mom from Buffalo.
someone who knows what it means to stretch a dollar,
to raise a family,
and to fight for this state every single day.
We're leading a different path.
a different path.
A different path.
A better path. And we're just getting started.
She's just getting started.
And now, please welcome the governor of the great state of New York, Kathy Hochul.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Hello, New York. Well, welcome. And I want to, what do you think of that marching band from Syracuse University? Gotta get that in. Go Orange. But I also want to thank them for being one of the best marching bands in the entire country. Not just me, but everyone else is saying that as well. But also, we have a lot to accomplish here today. And I want to, first of all, recognize and acknowledge the leader of the Senate, Andrea Stewart Cousins, and Assembly Speaker Carl Heastie, two extraordinary leaders I consider incredible partners as we chart the path forward for New York. Let's also give a round of applause for our protector, our Attorney General, Tish James. The keeper of the coffers, our comptroller, Tom DiNapoli, doing a great job. And all the way from Buffalo, one of the Buffalo Bill's biggest fans is our Assembly Majority Leader, Crystal Peoples-Stokes. I'd like to recognize Senate Minority Leader Rob Ortt, Assembly Minority Leader Will Barkley, okay, the judges of the Court of Appeals, the Mayor of New York City, Mayor Zoran Mamdani, thank you. Okay, and mayors and county executives from all across the state. Thank you for coming here today. We have representatives from labor and many other distinguished guests. Let's hear it for labor. Members of my incredible cabinet, led by Secretary Karen Persicilli-Keough, Catherine Garcia, the head of state operations, and the entire executive team. And I'm very proud to acknowledge New York's first ever first gentleman, my husband, Bill Hochul. Today, on this 13th day of 2026, we'll embark on a journey together. A State of a State address is a chance to look into the future. But this address actually calls us to do something much bigger than this moment. The origins of our nation, founded 250 years ago, and how that history shapes where we are and where we must go from here. That's the tone I want to talk about, that incredible history that defines us as a country and New Yorkers. Because from the very beginning, New Yorkers have always been a rather rebellious lot, willing to take on forces larger than ourselves in the cause of liberty and freedom. It's that resilience, that strength, that spirit, that willingness to fight for a better future that was born in secret meetings in the taverns of Albany and New York City, charting a path forward under the weight of an oppressive power. Sound familiar? It's not in here. And later, with New York as our country's first capital, our bold revolutionary leaders became the governing leaders of a new nation filled with unlimited possibilities. Over my 4 years as your governor, listening to your stories, feeling the pulse of this great state, I have seen the same strength, the resilience, the optimism that defined New Yorkers 250 years ago. And I shaped our agenda for 2026 and beyond. As I did that, I kept returning to conversations from everyday New Yorkers, from every corner of the state, people who refuse to back down on their dreams. People like Teresa Durham, a Syracuse grandmother I was lucky enough to meet last May. Thanks to our housing policies, Teresa just fulfilled her lifelong dream of owning a home. People like Deborah Koenigsberg, who owns a clothing boutique in the Flatiron District. Spent a lot of money there, Deborah. Her business, though, is getting hit so hard from Trump's tariffs. And somehow she's making it all work while still leading a nonprofit that supports homeless children and women. And I think about young people like Josiah Morales, a 14-year-old who had the courage to seek help when he was struggling with mental health. Today, he's out sharing his inspiring story, reminding his peers it's okay to accept a helping hand. So, thank you. So when I say your family is my fight, these are the people I'm talking about. I carry their stories and those of countless others with me because I've lived my own version of them. Growing up in a cramped home outside of Buffalo, sharing a drafty attic with a couple of brothers, doing my homework late at night by a space heater after I'd get home at 11 o'clock from working the shift at the local pizzeria. I actually make very good pizza. You should try it. But not knowing where my paths would lead, but I learned this. When people work hard, when someone has their back, it can change the entire course of their life. And that is why I believe with my whole heart that government can and must be a force for good. And over the last 4 years, we've proven it. We took our state emerging from a crisis and powered a comeback that few thought was possible. Crime is down. Crime is down in the places New Yorkers feel it the most, on our streets and our subways. Our communities are safer than they've been in years. And we know people need a safe place to live. That's why, working together with the legislature, we secured the most significant housing deal in half a century, so young families can put down roots. And we expanded childcare, capped the cost of insulin, and launched the nation's very first paid parental leave program. That's how you change lives. We also made historic investments in clean energy, chips manufacturing, advanced manufacturing, and creating tens of thousands of good-paying jobs. And the impact is undeniable. Retail is surging. More college graduates are moving to New York than anywhere else in the entire country. We're leading the nation in return to office. From Babylon to Buffalo, New York is rising. So if you're betting on the future, you need to bet on New York. If you're searching for talent, you will find it in New York. If you're looking for the epicenter of culture and innovation and opportunity, it has always been, will always remain, New York. My friends, I am so proud to stand before you and say the state of New York is strong. And we're just getting started. But I need to level with you. This moment carries real threats from Donald Trump and his enablers in Congress, driving up costs on everything from groceries to farm equipment through these reckless tariffs, killing major infrastructure projects that put union members to work, tearing apart nursing immigrant mothers from their babies, and calling it public safety. And just last week, the World Watch has an immigration operation in Minneapolis that never should have been there, left a child without a mother, and a community, and indeed a nation, shattered. It's all part of an agenda that only makes our lives harder. But here's the thing about New Yorkers, we don't back down. We rise up. And when they tried to take away funding for our first responders and law enforcement, we made them restore it. When they tried to kill congestion pricing, we beat them back in court again and again. But literally less than 24 hours ago, the president made another threatening social media post. Mr. President, the message is still the same. We will not bow to a wannabe king, and the congestion pricing is staying on. Yes, this is a real year of uncertainty driven by reckless federal policies. Washington's chaos is hitting our bottom line, but here's the good news. We built the boat to withstand the storm. We've managed our money responsibly, and that means we can make transformative investments in our future without raising taxes, without settling the next generation with mounds of debt. We can get this done. 4 years ago, we laid out a bold vision, and I took responsibility to deliver and make it real. As we head into 2026, we are seeing the results. Clean hydropower for the first time flowing from Quebec to over 1 million homes in New York City. Long-stalled housing projects finally rising from the ground. A new stadium bringing pride and investment to Western New York. Go Bills! Now, you're all allowed to say go Bills. Thank you. Okay. See, I'm trying to unite downstate and upstate. This is the best thing I've got, right? We also have the brand new Belmont Park carrying racing into the future. The World Cup, drawing soccer fans from around the globe are coming here. And critical infrastructure is finally being rebuilt, from the Port Authority bus terminal to our bridges and tunnels, to expanding the 2nd Avenue subway even further. And the Interborough Express will connect Queens and Brooklyn like never before. It's all moving forward in 2026. Even the renovations at Penn Station that I got the president to finally focus on and pay for, long dreamed about, are on a path forward. Also, families will get a little more breathing room with another minimum wage hike, better paid family leave, a child tax credit up to $1,000 per child under the age of 4. And let me say this. We have the lowest middle-class tax rates in 70 years. Let me repeat that, the lowest in 70 years. And we lifted a major burden that was on businesses by paying off billions of dollars in unemployment insurance debt, while increasing the benefits by 70%. Now, this is a critical safety net for anyone who finds themselves out of work. Well, what else can we look forward to in 2026? World-renowned companies are reinvigorating communities that were overlooked for too long. Look what's coming. Micron in Onondaga County, shovels in the ground. Now, not 3 years from now, 3 days from now, shovels are going in the ground. Micron is happening. Fairlife in Monroe County, Chobani in Oneida County. These wins are the results of fights we took on, investments we made, and a future we chose together. And when I say together, that means my great partners in state government, but also means the local leaders who work around the clock, keeping our towns and our cities running. Let's hear from a few of them.
We are New York.
We are New York.
We are New York.
We are New York.
Across the state, local leaders are building opportunity.
Street by street,
neighborhood by neighborhood,
turning visions into results that
people can see and feel.
But none of us can do this alone.
And progress doesn't happen without
leadership from the top.
Leaders like Governor Kathy Hochul.
Governor Kathy Hochul.
Since she took office in 2021,
Governor Hochul has delivered really unprecedented investments in our crime analysis centers.
Investing in law enforcement.
She's helped small cities like Peekskill flourish.
A $230 million hospital.
$3.2 million to support 50 units of affordable housing.
$10 million more for economic development projects creating jobs in Western New York.
The single largest economic development investment in our county's history.
$400 million in state investments to revitalize our downtown.
She's been focused on making New York more affordable and is a trusted partner in our shared fight for universal childcare.
We're committed to working with Governor Hochul to make affordable, high-quality childcare.
Take it from someone who's leading the city of Poughkeepsie,
who works in the village of Hempstead,
North Tonawanda,
Newburgh,
Buffalo,
the city of Yonkers.
Every single day.
When New Yorkers work together,
we can accomplish anything.
Governor Hochul gets that.
She's delivered for us
so that we can deliver for you.
She has our back
because she knows
we are New York.
We are New York.
We are New York. We are New York.
Yes. Yes, we are New York. And as your governor, I'm so proud to lead the fight to protect our communities, build an economy that works for all. And today, I'm here to tell you how we're going to continue that fight. And it starts and ends with making life more affordable. Whether we're talking about childcare, groceries, utility bills, one thing is clear. Parents, veterans, disabled, seniors, they all need relief. And that's why last year, working with this legislature, we put upwards of $5,000 back in the pockets of hard-working New Yorkers. Well, that's the good news. But now, Washington Republicans are waging an all-out war on the middle class, driving up costs, leaving states to pick up the pieces. So this year, while Washington takes a machete to our safety net, I'm doubling down on the fight for a more affordable New York, starting with childcare. For parents, working parents, no cost is more overwhelming. And I know how urgent this is because I lived it. When Bill and I were just starting out, childcare was one of our greatest obstacles. I was fresh out of law school, all excited about my career, dream job working on Capitol Hill for Senator Daniel Patrick Moynihan, a true legend. When our babies arrived, and I'm happy they came, but I had to give up that career. No, they're great kids. They're now giving me other babies, which is great. But we simply couldn't find available, affordable childcare like so many other people then and now. It was heartbreaking. It was tough then. But for too many families today, it is almost impossible. Get this. In New York City, childcare costs between $26,000 and $40,000 a year. For that price, your toddler should be fluent in 3 languages and doing your taxes. One year ago, I stood on this very stage and placed our state on the path to universal childcare. Today, I stand before you with a clear roadmap to show you how we'll get there, building on over $8 billion in childcare investments we have made since 2022. And this plan will ultimately deliver universal childcare for every single family in New York, full stop. Full stop. Now, the work has already begun. 5 days ago, I stood with Mayor Mondami. We stood together. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Come on. Republicans have kids too. You can stand. Like I said, 5 days ago, I stood with Mayor Mamdani to announce that the state will fully fund the first 2 years of his universal childcare program while also helping New York City realize the full promise of universal 3K. We made that commitment and we'll keep it and beyond. Statewide, we're taking a different but equally ambitious approach. We're promising universal pre-K for every single 4-year-old by 2028. And this year, we'll pilot community-wide childcare to provide year-round, full-day, affordable care for newborns to 3-year-olds. And we'll build on that proven success of our state child care assistance program and our voucher program so tens of thousands more families can access high-quality care for no more than $15 a week. And thanks to our strong economy, we have the revenues to get these initiatives off the ground. But to keep the momentum going, we also need partnership with the private sector. So work with employers, improve tax incentives for those who invest in child care benefits. I want New York to be the #1 place for anyone to start a family and build their future right here. When we do that, we all win. Our classrooms are fuller, our economy is stronger, and our communities are richer in every sense of the word. But affordability doesn't stop at child care. Right now, the average New York household pays nearly $1,700 per year just to keep the lights on and the heat running. Now, we've got some challenges. Donald Trump's stop work order on offshore wind only makes it worse in the long run. And I'm fighting that every step of the way. But while that battle continues, we're taking action now. Streamlining utility assistance, helping homeowners make energy-efficient upgrades, and protecting New Yorkers who are being blindsided by exorbitant rate hikes. We can make energy more affordable and reliable while still leading the nation in sustainable investments, leaving this state even stronger for our children and grandchildren. And there's another affordability issue that's been apparent for years. Anybody out there own a car? The sky-high cost of auto insurance. Now, in many parts of our state, owning an automobile is not a luxury, it's a necessity. Yet, New Yorkers pay the highest auto insurance rates in the nation, averaging $4,000 a year, $1,500 more than the national average. Now, not because New Yorkers are doing anything wrong. I'm sure they're all really good drivers, right? I think they are. But why? Because of rampant fraud and runaway litigation costs are jacking up the prices. Now, let me be clear how that happens. When the system allows out-of-control payouts, those costs get passed on to you in the form of higher monthly premium bills. New Yorkers should not pay more for the same coverage. And this is the year we're going to do something about it. We're putting the brakes on fraud. We're ending a system that rewards illegal behavior. And if you are driving drunk, driving without a license, or committing a felony at the time of the crash, you should not get a payday. This is about finally standing up for millions of New York drivers who deserve a break. And this year, we'll continue cracking down on criminals of all kinds. When I came into office, New York was facing a crisis of crime and disorder. In the 2 years before I arrived, shootings had nearly doubled. Repeat offenders were cycling in and out of the criminal justice system, and too many people felt unsafe. I promised New Yorkers I would do everything in my power to restore safety and security. and we backed that promise with action. We made unprecedented investments in police and public safety, over $3 billion. We enacted the strongest gun laws in the nation, along with common sense reforms to keep serial offenders off the streets and to stop criminals from walking free on technicalities. We also equipped the police with the best technology, deployed more officers in the subway, and we formed specialized units to crack down on retail theft and also on domestic violence. 4 years later, crime is hitting record lows. Shootings, homicides, subway crime, all down. But I'll tell you this, we'll never be satisfied. So this year we're building on what works, using data, coordination, smart enforcement to stay ahead of the criminals, and we'll expand our successful network of crime analysis centers statewide. On our subways, we're committed to maintaining enhanced police patrols. We'll install more platform barriers at 85 additional locations and expand our elite mental health units to get people in crisis off the trains and into care. We stemmed the tide of firearms that were flowing into our state along the iron pipeline. But now we're taking aim at the plastic pipeline. This is incredible. Illegal 3D printed ghost guns are now homemade killing machines, are assembled with pieces you can easily purchase. And how is that possible? To fight back, I'm proposing the first in the nation law requiring all 3D printers sold in the state of New York to include software that blocks the printer from creating a gun. It's just common sense. Just common sense. And we're putting gun manufacturers on notice. You will no longer sell handguns that can be converted into semi-automatic machines able to fire 1,200 rounds a minute. Not here, not in New York. And that's how we save lives and fight crime. As we reflect on the freedoms fought so hard for 250 years ago, among them is the freedom to practice your religion without interference. In 2026, we'll take steps to protect our houses of worship against the rising tide of anti-Semitism and Islamophobia. Now, New York has already invested $130 million to better secure these sacred spaces. But clearly much more has to be done. Just last week, protesters led pro-Hamas chants outside a synagogue in Kew Gardens Hills. That's not free expression, that's harassment. And targeting a Jewish community this way is anti-Semitism. And that's why I'm proposing a ban on these protests, and I'll respect people's right to protest any day of the week, but not within 25 feet of the property line at houses of worship. So those who simply want to pray, can do so without fear or harassment. Everybody deserves it. Every faith deserves that. My responsibility for keeping New Yorkers safe, as you know, extends to our kids as well. We've taken on big tech and passed nation-leading laws so kids will no longer be subjected to the addictive algorithms that manipulate their minds. They'll no longer be targets for mega corporations monetizing their mental health. And now, when the school day begins, their cell phones are tucked away under our bell-to-bell ban. And in just the last 4 months, the transformation has been extraordinary. Extraordinary. Classrooms are alive with discussion. Laughter fills our lunchrooms. And Frankie Focus haunts our children's dreams. He is a weird-looking dude. But I say, building on our success, I say we enact new requirements to protect all social media users under the age of 18. Let's block direct messages from would-be child predators, number one. Let's disable AI chatbots that can cause serious mental health problems. Let's block location sharing. Why should they know where our kids are? And let's do more to cut off access to online sports gaming so our kids are not ensnared by addiction at a young age. We can get that done. I know we can. Now, you've heard me say our communities cannot reach their full potential without an abundant supply of safe, affordable housing. We've talked about this a lot. For too long, overburdensome regulations have made it too hard, not just to build homes, but the places people work and the infrastructure our future depends upon. And that's why 4 years ago, I made a commitment to challenge the status quo, to cut the red tape, and to clear the way to build, build, and build some more. We took on a system that was failing our families and passed the most significant housing deal in 50 years. We got that done. But we made it very clear, standing still is no longer an option. As a result, when we did this, we saved over 71,000 homes that were at risk of being scrapped. We opened the door for another 800,000 over the next decade. And we funded shovel-ready projects. We strengthened tenant protections. We turned vacant properties into homes and protected rent-regulated housing. And local governments are stepping up, too. Under our plan, over 400 pro-housing communities have agreed to build more homes. Not because we lead with carrots, because we lead with carrots. I started with a stick. Went right away to carrots. Eat your carrots. But under my approach, we have communities saying yes to building housing for the first time ever. They're stepping up. And I thank those communities. At first, we started with just 20 communities that were willing to step forward and say, I'll build more housing to get my hands on $650 million. I think everybody realized, we'd like to share that money too. So we're going to keep changing the culture around building. We have 400 communities. We're going to keep building this. And this year, we're going to invest an additional $250 million into affordable housing and $100 million to scale innovative manufactured housing that lowers costs and speeds constructions. These homes are beautiful, my friends. This is not the trailer park my parents started life in, that tiny rundown building. This is incredible. You can't tell the difference. I've visited so many of them. We'll also update our tax incentives to help owners of rent-regulated buildings in New York City make the repairs and investments to get more housing stock online. And we'll crack down on the worst landlords with increased penalties and strengthen rent relief for seniors and New Yorkers with disabilities. But as far as we've still come, there's a lot of projects still stuck. Not because they're bad ideas, but because of the system itself. The system has become the obstacle. Even projects everybody agrees we need, affordable housing, clean energy, critical infrastructure, can spend years trapped in red tape, pushing up the costs and pushing opportunity further and further out of reach. So this year, we're taking a hard look at the environmental review processes that have not been updated in half a century. Now, right now, they slow down the very projects that help us fight climate change, create housing, and strengthen our communities. That's why in this budget, I'm proposing a simple, common sense update. When communities say yes to housing, infrastructure, clean energy, we're going to let them build. And when a town or city decides to move forward, they should not get stuck in regulatory hell. Now, cutting red tape doesn't end at the construction site. It extends to government, too. This year, we'll eliminate onerous, outdated regulations and leverage cutting-edge technology to show us how to make government work better. But we'll also do it the old-fashioned way, talking to small business owners and other impacted businesses about the bureaucratic barriers that are holding them back. People deserve to know their tax dollars are being spent wisely and that their government is operating efficiently. While we're bringing And we're bringing that same productivity as we build the jobs of the future. Now, today, the Empire State is home to 8.5 million private sector jobs, almost 1 million more than when I first took office. And now we're forging ahead, tapping into the creativity that has always defined our state. Just looking back 200 years ago, the Erie Canal made New York State an industrial powerhouse. It's sustained generations of jobs, good-paying manufacturing jobs in entire communities. But those jobs, when they were shipped overseas in the 1970s, communities like mine paid the price. I remember when the steel plant shut down in Buffalo. It took a toll. And I remember seeing the pain from the out-of-business signs, businesses gone dark, the drawn faces I saw on the sidewalk that have lost hope. None of my siblings, big Irish Catholic family, right? Lots of siblings. They couldn't even stay in the town they wanted to grow up and raise their kids in. The lesson that taught me will never be forgotten. New York should never be left at the mercy of decisions made far away with no regard for the people here at home. So we're ushering in a rebirth of manufacturing, one that's built to last. In 2022, we enacted the nation's largest semiconductor incentive program, ensuring that the defining technology of our time would be built in New York by New Yorkers. We're already landing the world's largest chip makers, but to ensure that these opportunities are within reach for all, not just reserved for a select few, I'm going to be investing $500 million to help all New Yorkers gain the skills they need to succeed. We'll do that. Let's go way back, though. It starts with the fundamentals you learn in school. And that's why 2 years ago, I took on some strong interest and insisted that we go back to basics on how we teach our kids to read for the first time in 20 years. And we got rid of ineffective methods. We took on that fight and we won. This year, let's take the same approach to math so we can prepare the next generation for the jobs of tomorrow. And for those who want to embark on a new career, adults who want to do something different or the job that they chose isn't working out, we launched free community college for adult learners pursuing high-demand careers from healthcare to advanced manufacturing. And just since last summer, more than 11,000 more people enrolled than would have done it otherwise. We're opening the doors of opportunity like my family had. Let's expand it even further. It's working. Let's expand it to add new fields like logistics, air traffic control, emergency management, other fields. We can get this done. But also, speaking of preparing for the future, we must plan for the energy that industries require. Now, last year, I took on the bold step of greenlighting the first nuclear project in a generation. It is a vital part of our all-the-above approach to energy. I realized it sounded very ambitious. At the time, we set a goal of building 1 gigawatt of nuclear power. And we thought about it. There's one thing I believe: you go big or you go home. So I've decided to raise the bar to 5 gigawatts. That's more nuclear power than is built anywhere in the United States in the last 30 years. Let's do it. So many communities are begging for this upstate. And also, to make sure New Yorkers are ready for these good-paying opportunities, there's going to be a lot of building involved, my friends in labor, we're going to have a nuclear workforce development program so we can forge our clean energy future together. We'll see what Homer's doing. But let me be clear. Our energy system exists to serve New Yorkers first. Now, data centers are vital for an innovative future, but they guzzle up tremendous amounts of energy and leave ratepayers footing the bill. So if they want to build in New York, they have to pay their fair share for the power they use. But also, ultimately, I want them, if you're going to come, you have to generate your own power independently, clean energy, not on the grid, and we're going to make sure that, because we will not allow technology to undermine our infrastructure and raise costs for New Yorkers. And we also won't allow technology to undermine our democracy, because people deserve to trust what they see and hear during election season. So this year, we'll require disclosures on all AI-generated images and videos so real New Yorkers know what's real and what's not. And we'll strengthen our existing laws that will prohibit deepfakes that impersonate candidates, deceive voters, and manipulate elections. Take a good look at these guns. Take a look at the guns. It's the last time you're going to see them. But all jokes aside, New York has always been a place where fundamental rights are vigorously defended. At a moment when those rights are under direct attack, New York is doing what we've always done. We're standing firm. When Roe v. Wade was overturned, we acted immediately, protecting abortion access and shielding patients and providers from political persecution. We enshrined the Equal Rights Amendment in our state constitution, and we strengthened one of the nation's oldest human rights laws. But over the last year, that record has come under siege by the Trump administration. One of the clearest examples of what's at stake is the right to health care. Republicans in Washington want to drive up premiums, deny coverage, and force families to choose between seeing a doctor and paying their rent. Here in New York, we're going to fight like hell to stop them. This year, we'll protect affordable health care for more than 1.3 million New Yorkers at risk of losing it. That's how we stand up. We're also protecting access to life-saving vaccines. Last year, when pharmacies started turning people away, I literally had to declare an emergency, and we had to expand who could prescribe and administer vaccines so no New Yorker is left unprotected. And think about our kids. This year, I'll go further, ensuring New York's immunization standards are set by trusted medical experts, not conspiracy theorists. Crazy idea, right? Also, protecting New Yorkers also means this: standing up to ICE agents who abuse their power. Thank you. Thank you. Yep. New York is a state that was built by immigrants, people like my own grandparents who fled great poverty in Ireland. And we don't forget where we came from. Over the last year, communities across New York, from farms in Sackett's Harbor to factories in Cuyahoga County to high schools on Long Island, have been shaken by aggressive federal immigration actions that go too far. Yesterday, they arrested an analyst at New York City Hall, an analyst with legal work authorization. Have you met an analyst lately? I mean, they're really not threatening. They're not the baddest of the bad. I mean, they're just doing their jobs. Is that person really a threat? Come on. I'll do whatever it takes to protect New Yorkers from criminals any day of the week. I always have, always will. But people of all political beliefs are saying the same thing. What we've seen lately has gone too far, and enough is enough. So, New York will not allow the use of state resources to assist in federal immigration raids on people who have not committed serious crimes. Not doing it. Let me be clear. Public safety will always come first, but it must be pursued lawfully and with humanity. We will not allow masked ICE agents to storm our schools, our daycare centers, our hospitals, our houses of worship for civil immigration raids unless they have a judicial warrant. And guess what that means? Signed by a judge. And when these boundaries are crossed, accountability matters. No one, from the president on down, is above the law. Let me repeat, no one. And that's why I will allow to move to have New Yorkers hold ICE agents and others accountable in court when they act outside their scope of duties. Now we need accountability. This does not interfere with local law enforcement or public safety. It simply affirms a core truth. Power does not justify abuse. And if someone's constitutional rights are violated here in the state of New York, I say they deserve their day in court. No matter what happens in Washington, no matter who's in the White House, rest assured, your family, your future are my fight. And, you know, history has proven when freedom is on the line, New York shows up, beginning with the ordinary people who stood up and fought for their freedoms and values when they were under attack 250 years ago. We are the patriots. We are not. No. Wrong. Patriots. Get rid of that. Not those patriots who fought. You guys screwing around. The patriots who forged a new nation. We are the people who shed blood at Saratoga, blazed a trail from Seneca Falls, demanded dignity at Stonewall. And when the American experiment was put to the test, when the path was darkest, it is New Yorkers who light the way forward. Some of the challenges before us today are very similar to those New Yorkers faced 250 years ago. Others are new. The battles may look different, but there's one thing that never changes. It's that unspeakable spirit and the toughness of the people of this state. You see it every single day. You see it in the police officer patrolling the streets of the night, allowing the rest of us to sleep safely. You see it in teachers encouraging students to pursue their dreams, like my 8th grade social studies teacher, Mr. Peter James, did at Hamburg Middle School. It's the nurse in the North Country who puts her kids to bed before heading to the hospital for the overnight shift. It's the 5th-generation dairy farmer in Wyoming County, up before dawn, knowing that people are counting on him for their very existence. Different callings, but a shared experience, one purpose. Showing up and standing guard, doing the work day after day. That's the legacy we must uphold. And I believe that 250 years from now, people will look back at this moment in time and ask, did we stand up and fight for the most fundamental rights when they were under attack? Did we stand up and protect New York as a beacon of opportunity for people all over the world? A place where you can raise a family without being crushed by bills, where you can afford a home, where you can start a business or work a farm without being destroyed by tariffs. Did we properly invest in education, knowing that an educated populace may be our best defense against tyranny? And when long-cherished rights were stripped away and our very democracy was threatened, did we stand up and fight back and protect them? Now, to each of these questions, I know New Yorkers will accept no answer other than a resounding yes. And that, my friends, is the essence of my 2026 State of the State. In the weeks ahead, working with Leader Stuart Cousins and Speaker Heastie, we'll find even more ways to deliver for New Yorkers, just as we've done these last 5 years. Because there's one thing I know. So New Yorkers move forward with strength and compassion side by side. There's no challenge we can't meet, no tyrant we can't beat, no future we can't build. So let's build that future together with enthusiasm, optimism, and with fearlessness. It must be tough. We have to be strong. And just to conclude, I say this. What else can you possibly say on a day like today other than, let's go Bills!
Throw your head back and shout. Come on now, the Bills are making it happen now. Stand up now, come on and shout. Yeah, 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 yeah. Say you will. Shout it right now, baby. Say you will. Come on, come on. Say you will. Come on and shout. Say you will. Yeah. Shout. Buffalo's happening now. Shout. We're on the move now. Shout. The Bills are happening now. Shout. They're making it happen now. Shout. We got the spirit, a lot of spirit, yeah. Shout. We got the spirit, shout. Just watch it happen now. Hey, 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 hey. Let's go Buffalo. Let's go Buffalo. Let's go Buffalo. Let's go Buffalo. The Bills make me wanna shout.